Hey, you, mom over there, frustrated with trying to get in shape after having kids? Listen, I've been there. What nobody tells you after having kids is it's not just about losing the weight. I'm gonna say that again. It's not just about losing the weight. You have to rebuild the muscle in your entire body to achieve that toned, lean look that you're after. And after 5 years of trial and error, I finally cracked the code. And I'm gonna share my tips, and actually not just tips, my fail-proof fitness and nutrition systems that helped me achieve my goals. And hopefully these systems will help you along your journey as well. So if you don't know me, hi, I'm Whitney. I used to have a channel called Sporty Afros that was focused on wellness and nutrition, and I am going to be rebranding this channel. It's still going to be focused on fitness, nutrition, wellness, but through the lens of motherhood and living a really busy life, which pretty much anybody can relate to, even if you're not a mom. A quick caveat. So the tips or systems that I'm going to share with you are going to go one step further than your typical, eat healthy, drink a lot of water, work out consistently, have a workout regimen. These are going to be a little bit more advanced, and really it's to build systems that are going to help you actually sustain these new habits in your life so you can actually achieve your goals. Number 1, having accountability or hiring a trainer. Ideally, you would hire a trainer. It's somebody who can tailor a fitness program to your lifestyle, to your specific goals. They can help correct any form. They can answer questions, that can provide like hands-on guidance to you. And it's something that like an online ebook or an app just can't do. Like for me, hiring a trainer was actually the turning point in my fitness journey. Because before that, I was doing it on myself, just looking stuff up on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever, kind of putting my own program together. And I saw some results, but I didn't see the results that I really wanted. And the reason was I was doing about, I would say like 70% of the things correct, but what a trainer did for me was show me that the gap in that 30%, which were things that I just couldn't see because I wasn't a fitness expert. So I highly, highly recommend hiring a trainer, even if it's for just a short period of time to just kind of set you off in the right direction. It is absolutely a worthwhile investment. So for me, my trainer, we built a weight lifting program. And so I was using heavier weights and or a barbell and a squat rack to achieve the goals that I was after. But you can hire a trainer to help you kind of with whatever fitness goals that you have, and you can implement whatever program works best for you. Another thing having a trainer did for me was giving me accountability with my nutrition. So a big thing was I was tracking my food, but I was kind of like loosely tracking things in MyFitnessPal, and I wasn't being as accurate as I thought that I was being. And so my trainer helped me point out like where I was honestly like lying to myself about the food that I was tracking and what I was actually eating. Like for example, I wasn't actually weighing and measuring my food. Now, I know for some people like tracking calories and weighing and measuring your food is like not a thing, but for me, this is actually what made the biggest difference. And the thing about it is I did it for a short period of time, and then after that I could kind of eyeball and know what I like, kind of know portion sizes and know what I needed to eat in order to meet my calorie goals and my macro goals. But yeah, it just helped. That nutrition accountability really made the largest difference for me. So even if you can't afford to hire a trainer, I would say still set up some kind of accountability system. So whether that's a friend who's going to be working out with you, even if it's a friend who's not going to be working out with you, tell somebody what your schedule is and what you're intending to do, and have them set up a reminder to send you a text to ask if you've completed your goal for the day. Like that little bit of accountability will actually make the largest difference when you are trying to achieve your fitness goals. Tip 2, removing barriers. So I know this doesn't exactly sound like a system, but it really is. So in order to do this, you need to have a really honest conversation with yourself about why you haven't achieved the fitness goals that you want to achieve. And for me, the thing that was getting in the way was I didn't have the right equipment. I had a few, pieces of fitness equipment. I had a few resistance bands and dumbbells, but really what I needed was heavier weights, and I needed a barbell and a squat rack. So I bought a squat rack and I put it in my garage. I know that that might not be attainable for everybody because you don't have the space or because of budget constraints, but the real thing here is not that you have to go out and run out and buy a squat rack, but how bad do you want it? Right? Like, that's the honest conversation you need to have with yourself. Like, are you in a season right now to where you can dedicate the time and the effort to reach your fitness goals? And if you're not, that's okay. But you need to realize what season of life that you're in. And if you are in that season of life, then you need to make the money investment or make the time investment and or sacrifice in order to meet the goals that you set out for yourself. And what buying a squat rack actually did for me was it got rid of all of my excuses. Because in the past, I'd be like, oh, I can't make it to the gym today because, the kids are sick, or, my husband's out of town and I don't have anyone to watch the kids. Now I have zero excuses. My gym is right downstairs in the garage. I can go any time of day or night. And so what would happen is if I made an excuse for the day, a day I was supposed to work out and I just didn't get up on time, whenever I would walk out into the garage to go to the car, I would look at that squat rack and it would shame me. So that one thing really removed a big barrier for me to hold me accountable to my goals. System 3. A weekend meal plan. So this is taking it one step further than meal prepping and having nutrition, having whole food nutrition that fuels your body, whatever that is, whether you're a vegetarian, a vegan, a pescatarian, you follow a carnivore diet, keto, whatever your jam is, cool. You found that, you set that. Now, the next step is figuring out what you're gonna eat on the weekends. Let's say that you already have your meals planned and prepped or easy to grab during the week. On the weekends, that's where most people tend to get in trouble, and that's where I would get in trouble. So I would tend to overindulge on the weekends and have things that I usually wouldn't have. I love a good veggie burger and French fries, so I would have that. Or I live in Texas and we eat a lot of Tex-Mex, so I would have chips and queso, or the extra cheese and sour cream on the fajitas, whatever it is. And all of that over time really adds up. And it was completely erasing all of the progress that I made during the week. So the biggest change that I made was taking a look at the nutrition that I was already tracking in MyFitnessPal and kind of seeing where I could make healthy cuts. I'm not about cutting out your favorite foods. I'm about making adjustments to your favorite foods to help them push you towards your goal. For the burger or veggie burger and French fries, I would have air fried French fries, and then I would cut back on, I wouldn't put cheese on it, and I would swap my mayonnaise for mustard. Or like if I were to go eat Tex-Mex, I would skip the chips and queso. I'd maybe eat a few chips and some salsa. And then on my fajitas, I would skip the cheese, I would skip the sour cream, I would have a little bit of guacamole, then I'd have a lot of veggies. So I'd have a lot of onions and salsa and jalapenos and things, kind of spicy things to help make up for that flavor gap that I wasn't getting from the sour cream and cheese. But making these little tweaks to my weekend meals helped me actually achieve my fitness goals. Another thing to take in consideration is if you drink alcohol, plan for that in advance. So for example, on Fridays is me and my husband's date night. I know I'm gonna have a glass of wine or two, so I pre-plan for that. I plan for those calories in advance. So what that means is I put those in MyFitnessPal and I kind of backtrack through the day and I account for those calories. So I would adjust my nutrition through the day to make sure that I'm not going over my calories or over my macros for what I plan to have later in the day. So you can do something like that. Another way to do that is to have kind of a higher calorie day and not really make a lot of adjustments, but then make adjustments throughout the rest of the week. One last pro tip is to look at your favorite restaurants and the ones that you go to all the time, right? And plan some healthier choices in advance. So when you get there, you're not kind of hemming and hawing over what you think you should have. You already know in your mind what you're gonna have. And it's something that you really want and that you're excited for, but also helps you reach your fitness goals. System 4. Set a workout schedule. So this is a no-brainer, but the biggest thing here is setting a workout schedule that actually works for your real life. Not a workout schedule that you think you should be doing, but something that actually works. So take a look at what you've been doing and where it's been breaking down. right? And then take a look at your calendar and see realistically in your busy life, how much time do you have to dedicate to working out? How much time, how many days, and then put your time blocks in there and then fit your workouts within the time blocks within your schedule. Like again, this sounds so simple, but it is an absolute game changer. For me, in the past, I would be following some program, and it could be a good program, right? And this person is working out 5 days a week. But realistically, chasing 3 kids around and working full time, there was no freaking way I was making it to working out 5 days a week. So I would continually try and fail and get frustrated with myself and then end up giving up. What use is that? For me, after looking at my calendar, realistically, I could only work out 4 times a week. And it was early in the morning before my kids got up and before work started. So I would get up at an ungodly hour. I would go downstairs to my gym, my garage gym, my very unaesthetic, messy garage gym, and I would work out. Another thing that I added into my workouts, just because I like a little bit of variety, is I also added a quick like 15-minute like YouTube Pilates, which I will link below because I actually love this Pilates workout. It's by Sarah's Day and I adore her and her workouts are great. And I also added bouldering to my fitness regimen. So I fit these in kind of whenever I can, and these are not like set things in my fitness plan, but it's just something that I enjoy doing, something that's a little bit different, but helps propel me towards my fitness goals if I have extra time in my schedule. If you're running short on time, like for example, let's say you've set 45 minutes in your calendar to work out at lunch and something happened at work, something happened with the kids, something happened, and you only had 20 minutes. Still work out for those 20 minutes. Cut your workout in half. Whatever it is you need to do, but you need to stick to that specific time and get something done. Always remember, something is better than nothing, and you want to stick to that habit. The key to achieving your fitness goals is not doing something perfectly, but is doing something consistently. Even if it's only 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes of something, get it done. If you completely miss a workout session, try your best to reschedule it, but if you can't, that's okay. Skip it and make a commitment to yourself to come back to it next week. System 5. This is actually the most important tip, is you need to be making your workouts harder over time. I spent years doing the same workouts at the same intensity and seeing minimal results. The thing that actually changed the game for me, honestly, was adding intensity and progressive overload to my workouts. So what that means is making your workouts harder over time. If you're lifting weights, every single session, you need to be trying to lift more weight. Sometimes that's not achievable, which is totally fine, but you need to be trying for it every single time. That last rep, you should barely be able to get your arm up or do that squat or deadlift or whatever it is. If your face doesn't look like this when you're lifting weights, you're not doing it right. And if you're not sure if you're doing something right, one of my fitness inspirations that I love to follow is Natasha Ocean. I think that's how you say her name. She is an absolute beast. And I'm not saying you have to be like her, but I'm gonna link a clip of one of her videos below. Look at this woman's face when she is working out. You can't tell me that woman is not putting in work. That's actually, watching her videos made me realize that I was being a wimp when I was working out and I wasn't pushing myself to the max. And one thing to take in consideration is this does not just apply to weightlifting. If weightlifting is not your jam, that's totally fine. But whether that is you're doing Pilates, you need to be engaging your muscles more. You need to be doing a different variation. You need to be adding a little bit more weight because, you know, in Pilates, you still do use a little bit of weights. If you're doing yoga, sink deeper into that pose, push a little harder, hold it for a little longer, whatever you're doing. If you're running, you know, run a longer distance, push a little bit harder, vary up your interval training. Whatever it is that you're doing, there is a way to progressively make it harder over time. So you need to be doing that consistently. And when I say consistently, I'm saying like literally almost every session. And listen to what I'm not saying. I'm not saying don't listen to your body and push yourself to the point of injury. Please don't do that. I'm assuming you guys are smart and you understand what I'm saying. Push yourself within reason, within listening to your body, within not feeling pain, right? But you're feeling challenged, right? Challenge is what we're going after. One big point that I want to hammer home is that fitness results take time. There's a lot of content out here that shows you, get 6-pack abs in 6 weeks or lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Like, girl, bye. Goodbye. The faster you achieve the results, the faster you will lose them. The slow, steady pace is what actually gives you the long-lasting results. For me, it took me, I would say, the better part of a year to change my body composition. My weight didn't change drastically. I mean, maybe it changed for I lost about 2 pounds, but my body looked completely different. And it took me 365 days, okay? So that's not 6 weeks, that's not 3 months, that's not 6 months, that's not 9 months, 365 days. And you have to work consistently even when you're not seeing results. And one of the things that help keep you motivated is taking body measurements, taking progress photos, because a lot of times, especially for women, the scale is, she's the devil, okay? And it's not, definitely weigh yourself, track your weight, but don't rely solely on that. And just know that it's going to take time, and keep at it even if you're not seeing the results immediately. Because I promise, if you are working consistently, they will come. Bonus tip number 1 is set a deadline. This also is very simple, but you would be surprised how a lot of people don't do the simple things. Never underestimate the simple things. Set a deadline for your progress. Like I mentioned before, progress takes time, so don't set something unrealistic like I'm gonna lose 30 pounds in 6 weeks, but set something at least multiple months out. I would say at least 6 months out, if not a year out. If you're doing body recomposition, set a deadline for a year out, and try to make it something like some kind of event. Like, for example, my deadline was my girls' birthday party. So I have 7-year-old twin girls, and their birthday is in the summer, and they wanted a pool party. And so obviously I'm going to be at the pool. I'm going to be in a bikini. Great deadline to hold me accountable to my goals. So when, let's say in January, when I wasn't feeling it, and I wanted to skip out on a session or not push as hard, I would think about my deadline. And that helped me propel and motivate myself forward when I was lacking motivation. Bonus tip number 2, stop bashing your body. I know a lot of people talk about body positivity and love yourself, and especially after you have kids, love your stretch marks and your tiger stripes and your sagging stomach. Like, cool, yes, I'm here for all that. However, if you're not one of those who, like me, if you're not one of those who could just be like, yeah, I love my C-section scar, it looks great. Try body neutrality. That actually really worked for me. So as opposed to, when you get out of the shower and you look at yourself in the mirror, like nitpicking yourself apart, take a step back, and you don't have to be like, you look great, but just be like, we're good, we're cool, right? Like, again, try to take a neutral tone to your body. The biggest thing is to don't bash your body. Don't automatically zero in on a problem area and nitpick it apart and think of somebody else who looks better. The other piece to this is get rid of things that you're following, watching, listening to, whatever, that make you feel bad about yourself. If you're following somebody on Instagram for fitness inspiration, but they actually, every time you see any of their posts or videos, you feel bad about yourself, stop following them, okay? This also makes a huge difference. Before I just completely got off of social media a couple years ago, I stopped following some of the Fitspo girls that would make me feel bad about myself. And that made a big difference. So definitely try that one out. Because what this will do over time is it will help you appreciate your body and appreciate the results that you're getting that are specific to you. Your body is not going to look like anybody else's. Even if you did the exact same workout program as somebody else, you have the same height, same build, same whatever, you're not gonna look the same. So trying to go after somebody else as body goals, literally, if you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Focus on you looking like the best version of you, and that will help your mentality as you're moving through your fitness journey. The biggest thing here is that making fitness progress is hard. After you have kids, it is very, very difficult to get back in shape, which is why a lot of people don't do it. But if it's something that you really want, if it's something that you genuinely want, and you are in the time and the space and the place in order to make that happen, then use these systems. You don't have to use them exactly as I laid them out, but take these tools that I've given you that have worked for me and apply them to your life to help make your fitness and nutrition changes actually stick and work for you over time.